Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great day and that you're all doing fantastic. Let me know in the comment section exactly how high you think that Bitcoin is going to go over the course of this bull run. The numbers are completely all over the place. But there are a lot of people who have their own ideas as to where Bitcoin is going to go. This article popped up. It was extremely popular. I kind of scratched my head simply because we've known things like this for a while. If you haven't been here or are new to the space or just kind of left for a while and came back, or if you've been here for a while, one of the common trends within this space is that institutions and companies love Bitcoin. Like, they don't like it. They're like in love with it. And we've known that for a number of years. One of the issues ends up always being is that people forget quickly. So if we hear that a company purchased $1.4 million worth of Bitcoin, it makes big news. Oh my gosh, they have money. Look at what they're doing. 3 days later, people forget and people go, well, no one's buying any Bitcoin. Institutions roll into the space and they start buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. People are euphoric hearing the news. Oh my gosh, someone likes Bitcoin again. And then all of a sudden, retail begins to buy. The price may go down in one day by 2 or 3%. Retail sell. They think that the whole buying fever is over. I don't understand how people don't have a long-term view for anything, but also not for this market. If you can tell me why as well in the comment section, that'd be great. I don't get why people don't think long-term and I mean from like a generalized standpoint. I heard from someone before telling me that they just want to live their best life. But yeah, you expect to be here tomorrow, right? You have an assumption that you'll be here on New Year's Day, that you'll, next Christmas, so this idea of just not thinking further ahead or being like, let me save, let me invest for the future, irrespective of doom spending or whatever the case might be, you still have to prepare for the future. Anywho, so this news popped up. I read it and I was like, oh, okay. Well, it happened again, basically. And it's kind of a loop of what we've always been talking about. Institutions love the space. They love Bitcoin. They continue buying all of it. And that's just what they'll do. It says, hold on tight, hodlers. That is a terrible sentence. The institutional adoption of Bitcoin is accelerating. It's never not accelerated. It's just that retail is now figuring this out. These people have been buying Bitcoin for ages. BlackRock, the world's largest everything, they're like, can you imagine you or something you own being worth $11 trillion? That's trillion with a T. BlackRock, the company that owns the world, has already been on a Bitcoin buying spree for some time. Apparently, though, they are picking up the pace. BlackRock reportedly has acquired $2.4 billion US dollars worth of Bitcoin over the last few days through their iShares Bitcoin Trust iBit. They've been doing this for a while. I believe it's popping back up in the news because of the new price discovery, money to be made, and all these other kinds of things. If people gave 10% of the attention, 10% that they give to this bull run, to the cryptocurrency market in the last 2 years, people would be like, oh yeah, of course. Well, that's definitely what's taking place. The people who are rushing back into the market now, it's crazy. You know how it works, right? So the cryptocurrency market goes up. Everyone pays attention. Got it. The cryptocurrency market goes down and then further down and then down and keeps going down to the bottom. And people sell and they leave. They leave the market. They forget about it. Like I've seen people who were like in the market, prices go down. And then when I ask them, like, have you purchased anything? Like they laugh. I'm not in crypto anymore. The market goes up and they rush back into it with this like crazy fervor that they need it. Like it's, of course, FOMO and like maybe regret that's hitting them. But I'm like, you're only going to be here for another year. Like the moment the market begins to move back down, if at all, if cycles have been broken, you're just going to leave again. And then you'll ask yourself in 2045, why don't I have any money? Like, why didn't I hold? Why didn't I invest? I don't really understand it. These companies are buying up everything. Real estate, land, water rights. You might want to look into that one as well. They're buying up all the stocks. There was something I saw with this guy who was talking about these companies. Like people don't understand how much stocks other companies are buying now. There's like a weird misconception about rich people. I mean, also I can't be the only one who went to a school that didn't have like proper education. And I mean that in like a real way. Like we learned stuff, but like we didn't learn about real life. We didn't learn about taxes. We didn't learn about like having to pay rent, how to like budget, like none of like adult skills were given to us. But one of the things as well was like anything that had to do with like finance or like money or even like a way to like see how like rich people deal with money and like the way that they categorize things and how they place things all over. Like there's a misconception. So remember when we heard, this was about 2 or 3 years ago, we heard that the guy who, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, he mentioned that he likes Bitcoin and people were like, what? You can't like Bitcoin. It's not XRP. And he's like, no, I think Bitcoin is going to be around for a very long time. I don't know if he mentioned that he owns Bitcoin, but more than likely, like it's an impossibility at this point that he wouldn't. And people were shocked. People couldn't understand. When the people from Tether announced that they owned Bitcoin, people were like, but how do you're Tether? You can only own Tether. What are you talking about? So it's this thing that people don't understand, that other companies own the stocks of other companies. It's like a really big thing. Like when you make profits, you have to roll it into something else that's going to make you money. But with this exceptional number of profits that these companies are making, they're buying up the stock market. Like the actual stock market is being bought up by these companies and these institutions. And basically, they will kind of own these stocks forever. There's no need or want to actually relinquish them. I won't name some of the largest companies or like the dividend kings and all these other things like that. You can find lists online. But these are companies that people kind of expect to be around forever. You know, babies will probably be with us forever. So, you know, the people who sell diapers and who sell baby powder and stuff like that will, of course, be in business for a very long time. And if you continuously buy from these companies and the dividend goes up, like it's a really like, it's just about like long-term growth. Remember I told you, I forgot the name of the book, but the premise of it was some book about finance. I read halfway through and I was like, got it. The premise of it is just keep buying. He said he didn't understand that. Obviously, as a child, you don't get it. When he got older, people explained it to him, but he wasn't paying attention. In his 20s, he was like, I want to start investing. What do I do? And somebody told him, they were like, find something you like that goes up in value, that pays you all the time, and just keep buying. He was like, what do you mean? And they were like, well, if you buy one stock and it has dividends, what happens when you have 10,000 of that stock and 100,000 of that? It's just over the course of time. That's why I was telling you before, like a lot of people leave the cryptocurrency market because they become discouraged that they don't have enough money, because other YouTubers continuously lie to you and tell you, I just threw $38,000 into this thing. I just put 47 million. And it's like, if you only have 50 every month to put into the market, that 50 over the course of multiple months, multiple years, it adds up. It's better than zero. You have to start somewhere. It's similar to how like a lot of these coins years ago in 2016, 17, 20, 2021, If you had put $1,000 into a lot of these coins, they became six figures. It's just like keeping yourself focused on the goal. But a lot of people, I don't know where this discouragement comes from. They get rid of their coins. They leave the market. They come back in when prices are so much higher. And it's like, no, you should. And once again, not financial advice, but keep your head down. Keep buying. Stay on course. If you like stocks, keep buying stocks. If you like this, keep buying this. The value will go up. You will make money from it. You'll be better off 15 years from now being in crypto than if you had done absolutely nothing at all. So that always gets me down when I see all these people rushing back into the market. And I'm like, dude, you should have never left. But mathematically, people listening to this right now are also going to leave at the end of 2025. And it's like, all right, see you in 2028, 2029, when people have made millions and millions of dollars. Launched in January of this year. It feels like it's been an eternity. That's not a joke. Launched in January. The ETF allows investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin, yada, yada, simplifying the process, yada, yada. On Wednesday, iShares Bitcoin Trust experienced its largest single day of inflows at $872 million US, highlighting a high demand for cryptocurrency ETFs. There's always been a dramatically high demand. It's always been there. Even the days where we were only seeing inflows of $114 million. Do you understand that $114 million could have been allocated into real estate? They could have bought gold. They could have bought silver. They could have bought hats. They could have started companies. They're choosing to put it into Bitcoin. And people have this blasé attitude about like really large numbers, as far as like 114 million is not 300 million. I don't really care about the news. The price went down. I don't care. And it's like, what happens if you put $100 million into something every single day? Of course, this adds up and the number goes really, really high. And then before you know it, these people own all the Bitcoin. For those of you who didn't see the video, it must have been over a week at this point, we had news that the ETF issuers just within the United States hold over, like officially, like well over 1 million Bitcoin. How did they do this? How could they have done this? It's money. It's over the course of a year, over the course of daily, they accumulated up to, it's actually well over 1 million Bitcoin. Estimates now are that they're going to hit 1.5 million Bitcoin and then 2 million Bitcoin. It's the same exact thing for any other, like if you want to know how generational wealth like is created, it doesn't happen randomly. Like someone in the family generationally has to be like, no, like let's do this. Let's get this together. I have a friend of mine. I don't think he's listening, but hello. He kind of sat his family down and kind of gave them like an ultimatum, not in like a mean way, but he's like, we grew up poor. We don't have to live this way. So he like makes them basically like every month invest a certain amount of money into some kind of market. Like really, like a couple $100. They sit down, or if they video chat if they can, because they're in different places around the world. And they talk to each other. What are you thinking? What's going on? Have you looked at financial news? What are you thinking about this? And then they like put money into different investments so that they are literally creating generational wealth. It's what every family should be doing. There's no reason not to. I told you I've been in a couple situations before, and I thought it was fantastic. When I went to go visit property, but there's one that sticks out in my head with his father. I think he had his 2 sons with him, and I remember being so annoyed because I was like, oh gosh, like please send them home. But he was going into like the corners and he was talking to them. He was like, this is this, that's that. Like, look at the windowsill. Like, look at that. Like this has, they were, I think one was like 5 and the other one must have been like 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. He was like explaining everything to them. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's the craziest thing I've ever seen, but it's not. You should literally be doing this. Like with your cousins, with your family members, talk to them, get them into investing. If crypto's too much for them, teach them about stocks, teach them about like investing in real estate, like slowly, like how to do it. Like teach them about REITs, real estate investment trust, how to put their money into this. Like you also get dividends from REITs as well. Like you literally own a portion of real estate digitally, like through these actual things. And at some point, if you keep investing over years and years and years, you'll have enough money to go buy your own property. Life doesn't have to be this like slow drudging thing. You can work towards something bigger. In 5 years, look at how, like, if you've been in crypto this whole time, look at how far you've come. Now imagine another 5 years from now, the knowledge that you're going to have, the money that you're going to have, what you're going to be able to invest in. Help other people. Pick other people up. Teach them. Let them know. Let them learn. It doesn't just have to be BlackRock buying all the time. You have so much power, you don't understand. Like, you can be doing amazing things. In the next 20 years, your life will be unrecognizable, completely unrecognizable. In 10 years. Yeah. I think it goes on a little bit more, blah, 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 blah. It says Bitcoin ETFs has been tempting investors who want to diversify beyond the largest companies on the planet. Accumulating Bitcoin and stimulating market growth serves this purpose well. And then it talks about the other times they were purchasing. And at the end of October, there was something about BlackRock purchasing, I think, $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And it's, yeah, that's just how things are. That's exactly how they are. You have to start somewhere. Don't get discouraged. I talked to a lot of people over the course of my life, and people will, like, I mean, at some point they open up and they tell me, they're like, well, I'm not rich. Like, I can't invest. Like, the mindset always is, if I don't have the money right now, if I don't have the big bucks, if I don't have $1 million, if I haven't saved 10K, I can't do anything. You're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself. You have to start. You have to start. Like, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for someone to magically give you $1 million? Are you waiting for a magical fairy to walk by and go, here, money? Like, it just doesn't. You got to start somewhere. Because in a year, if you don't, you're going to be in the exact same place. I have a lot of people who I just don't actually talk to anymore. And I've seen some of them and I'm like, you're in the exact same spot. Like, I've been trying to teach you about money and investing. Like, I get that it can be scary, but stop it. Like, what happens when when you get older and oh my gosh, my legs and my knees hurt, my arms hurt, I don't want to work anymore. Oh wait, I have 300K. I can invest that. I don't have to work. I can get passive income. I can go buy a small house somewhere by the beach. I can move to Bali. Anywho, that's the BlackRock purchased $2.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. Sounds about right. And yeah, let's move on. So forgive me. I thought this was a joke. I had never heard of this. It seemed a bit weird to me, but apparently it's a real thing. Sheetz, that is SHEETZ, is apparently an American grocery chain. I have never heard. I'm from the States. I have never heard of Sheetz in my life. Apparently, they announced an expanded partnership with the platform Flexa to accept cryptocurrency payments at more than 750 of their locations in the Mid-Atlantic region. The company announced the move on Thursday, marking a significant step in integrating digital assets into mainstream retail. The expansion follows a successful initial rollout at select Sheetz locations. All 750 plus stores will now support payments through Flexa, allowing customers to basically be able to pay in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and the Circle stablecoin. Customers who join that's a crazy sentence. My Sheetz rewards with like SHEETZ REWARDZ. My Sheetz rewards loyalty program can also earn rewards when they shop with these payment methods. Once again, I personally had never, but I mean, also to be fair, I remember telling somebody about Piggly Wiggly one time and they were like, a Piggala who? Yeah, I think it just really depends on where in the US you are. It's Piggly Wiggly. What was the other one? Well, Chick-fil-A is kind of everywhere now, but there was some other chain that I used to always go to in I think North and South Carolina. Oh gosh, what was it? Flunch was also another one. People were like, Flunch? I was like, you never been to Flunch before? Oh gosh, what was the other one? Golden Corral. Golden Corral also isn't in a lot of places. Anyway, the point, I'm trailing off. I sincerely do apologize. I think I'm hungry again. I forgot about Golden Corral. Yeah, so Sheets has added all of these things. We also haven't heard Flexa in a while. Flexa launched years ago, I think, with like Spedin and the other Biddle, like all these other backward words, things in the cryptocurrency space. A number of years ago, it was quite common news, 2016, 17, 18, early 19, that companies were going to had started a partnership with or were going to allow cryptocurrency payments within their stores. A lot of that has kind of dried up. The people from the New York Stock Exchange created Backed. Why all these weird words? BAKKT. And I think Backed partnered with another company who are going to allow people to be able to like use cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. And I said it back then and I'll say it now. This nothing against you, Sheets is a but I don't think that I don't think that the majority of people are going to be using their crypto as a form of payment right now. I think in 10 years, you bet your bottom dollar. I think it's going to be everywhere. I think it'll almost be like default. They'll have an option for you to pay in crypto in some capacity. But I think that's only when prices really move up. I'm still aiming for that $1 million Bitcoin. I think $1 million is like the appropriate number when the masses will begin to use their Bitcoin as like an actual form of payment. Like realistically, like I think we need like a proper 10x in price and people will go, okay, I can start using it, because at that point you essentially would not have to relinquish all the Bitcoin that you purchased earlier. For people who have an entire coin, you wouldn't have to spend an entire coin on something. Like I think that that's the mental breaking point for people to want to actually use their crypto in some sort of way. It's the same exact thing with Ether. Like I have all these like big numbers in my head where I think people will be more comfortable. But I will say it is very nice to see the infrastructure already being like in place. We already kind of default have ways to be able to pay in crypto through crypto exchanges and like the cards that they offer. For those of you who don't know, nearly all the big ones, Coinbase and Binance. I don't know if Kraken or Gemini offer cards. I honestly have no idea. They offer Visa cards where basically you can link it to your crypto wallet address, like on the exchange. And when you pay for stuff, like it just like debits what you have. So like that's kind of like already paying in crypto, but it's slow. No one wants to be the pizza guy. I think that's a very significant part of all of this. So I think this will take off easily. But I think people will be more inclined to spend 0.0001 Bitcoin as opposed to like a tenth of a Bitcoin or something like that. Like the price has to go up high enough for them to be like, okay, I still have a lot of BTC, ETC, ABC, XRP 1, 2, 3 left without getting rid of my entire stash. Yeah, that's the Sheets' news. I was going to ask, is the food there? It's not a restaurant. It's a grocery chain. So I hope the food is there. I hope the food is good there. I hope it's good. Okay, let's move on. Also yay, this one's a bit weird. People are happy about this, but it's still like, yay. On Friday, South Korea's finance minister announced plans to regulate cross-border crypto transactions of virtual assets, including cryptocurrency, starting in the second half of 2025. Why you would wait that long, I'm not really sure, and I sincerely, honestly don't care. South Korea controlled the cryptocurrency market, as did Japan back in 2017. They seem to be intent on that not taking place once again. I assume it has to do with some kind of power struggle, people preferring cryptocurrencies over the country's fiat options or whatever the actual case might be. The idea of regulating cross-border cryptocurrency transactions, I feel like the word is oxymoron, but I feel like there's something else that's actually there. What a lot of people, I can't stress that enough, don't really understand is that like a couple things. One, when you look at a map, those imaginary lines are actually not there. I know, sorry, right? If you're in a plane and you look down, they're not actually there. The other part is that the world is kind of like hyper connected now, like in multiple different ways, in every single possible way. When my friends were in Japan, they were video chatting me while they were there in real time. Like, we're no longer in the 90s, but a lot of governments would like us to believe that we are so still. The idea of regulating cryptocurrency transactions as they move is something that I think governments are going to have a very hard, difficult time with. Not in a joking manner, not in a raising my fist, crypto revolution kind of thing. It's just more of a, to be completely frank and realistic, it's kind of like, imagine you're in Tokyo, got it, and you're trying to send an email to someone in South Africa. Like, it just kind of goes there. It's kind of the same thing with like calling and like other things, but crypto's even more powerful because it's not reliant on like centralized servers allowing these things to actually go through. That was the issue that we had before, where no one raised a red alarm except for me, where we heard from Visa. For those of you who missed it, Visa realizes that their only hope is by integrating into crypto. This is why the crypto exchanges have partnerships with Visa to be able to issue Visa cards. The second part is that Visa announced last year, I don't remember when it was, that they really like Ethereum. And what they want people to do is basically, if you want to send Ether, they're making their own system. They want you to send your Ether to Visa. Visa then sends it to another party to check the transaction. And then that gets sent to your friend. So that it's this and that, and you clear the beverage. And it's like, no, we have the blockchain for that already. However, Korea is one of the countries that has made sure that people within their borders can only deal in crypto or buy crypto through regulated crypto exchanges who have only like a certain amount of coins on their platform. So what ends up happening is you've heard of like the South Korean premium for Bitcoin's price. It's basically because like Bitcoin's finite. So the crypto exchanges are also, they're not plentiful. They basically are trying to buy as much Bitcoin as they can to be able to appease the hunger of people within these countries. The problem is that Bitcoin is finite and they can't get Bitcoin from other places. Neither can the people within that country. So that's already, ow, my stomach. Ooh, the whole time. Oh gosh. I was like, anyone ever sit weird? That was horrible. That was an awful feeling. Okay, I'm going to sit up straight now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so it's kind of this idea that, yes, if stuff is going through crypto exchanges or other larger platforms, you'll be able to control it in that sort of way. But the way that the world is shifting, especially as we keep getting tens of thousands of new plus people every single day into Bitcoin and into crypto, I wonder what that's going to be like. Like, if people are already sending crypto around now, in the future, I wonder, and I'm asking honestly, like, I wonder what governments are going to do when there's like 2.4 billion people into crypto, just kind of sending it back and forth and paying for things. Like, how do you, like, what's the end goal for the government if people only use crypto, only want to use crypto, and people kind of forego the idea of using fiat? The new regulations will mandate that businesses engaged in cross-border virtual asset trade register with authorities and submit monthly transaction reports to the Bank of Korea. The world is changing so fast. Like, even if you think about it in the context of like the US, if the US creates a Bitcoin reserve, other countries are going to do the exact same thing. This causes Bitcoin to go to several $1 million per coin. Who's still using the inflated US dollar? What's the point of the Fed? If we have a new monetary system that was organically growing over the course of 20 years, what's the point of sending transactions to the Bank of Korea if no one's really dealing in cross, like, no one's going to be sending their money through Coinbase to a friend, you'll simply just do it on your phone or through your smartwatch or through whatever. You understand? Like it's a really weird idea. Or even like through like these self-custody apps and stuff like that. I don't know. The world is changing. Anyway, this news was popular simply because it's similar. It's South Korea, it's Japan, Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, and there's one other place that people, or rather the news ends up being quite popular for. And I think it's because these places are known to either have money or because people think that there'll be like a rehatch of the glory days of these companies doing, or these countries doing extremely well in the market and bringing up the rest of the market with it. That'll be fascinating to see. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.